Hail adventurers, and welcome to this recap of Iron Kingdom's All Worlds of Stage, session number 5. Alright, so last we left off, the players were already gonna, they already had plans to attack the brothel of Rugal Winchester. So the game started, they woke up, and they were like, did Gumshoe tell us to meet him before or after or at the place? And I reminded them, at the place, so they went there. Once they went there, they see that Gumshoe is just walking towards the place. They walk with him. Gumshoe takes out one of his guns, one of his runecaster, magelock pistols, and blows up the wall, the door, the entry door of the brothel. The dwarf sends his steam jack in to start busting the sides of the door, so the steam jack can get in later. They go in, they start, Gumshoe starts shooting at prostitutes and male prostitutes all around. The players start fighting them. So I do this thing where they're fighting, each of the players are fighting 6 prostitutes, but instead of rolling 6 times, what I do is, I roll once. I roll once, but the attack rolls are boosted and so are the damage rolls. That's how I'm doing when they're fighting a lot of people, so I don't have to roll for each one. And when they attack them, it's treated as one creature. And what I do is, for every 5 points of damage that they deal, they only have 10 points of armor. For every 5 points of damage they deal, they take down 1 prostitute. They did that for a while. The dwarf noticed I'm not meant for combat, so I'm just gonna head back to where the steam jack is. Once the prostitutes got in the sights of the steam jack shot at them with the grape shot. That took, I think one of the groups of 6 prostitutes, it got reduced from 6 to 2. So yeah. Then when 1 prostitute was left, something similar happened to the last time they fought prostitutes. One of the prostitutes ripped off one of the arms of the dead prostitutes, ate it, and healed herself from damage. And then they went to another fight against that zombie-like prostitute. What I'm doing is I'm using a template that is in the Monsternomicon. I really like that template. Basically, it's the cannibal template. As a free action, I think it's a free action. I forget the names of the actions in Iron Kingdoms, but it's as a minor action, I think it's called. I forget. But as one of the small actions, you can take a piece of meat from a living creature or a creature that was recently dead, and you eat it and you recover health. Apart from that, they have more attack and stuff like that. So that's what I'm doing I'm using that template a lot because I like that template. And the Monsternomicon has a lot of really cool templates. If you play Iron Kingdoms, honestly, and if you're a game master, I believe there's no reason for you not to get the Monsternomicon. The Monsternomicon is a really good book for monsters. Eventually, I'm planning on using a couple more monsters of that book, but right now I'm really happy with just the templates. The templates are really good. They're really easy to implement on the creatures on the go, so that's awesome. They searched the place. They found there are some staircases leading to the 2nd floor. Some curtains behind the staircases that go behind the curtains. They find what's that called? I forget. Well, it's a room where the prostitutes get ready, so they can go on the benches, so people can look at them and choose who they're gonna buy out for the night. So they go back there. They're searching through their stuff. They find a secret door. No, the way they found the secret door was really hilarious. They checked the mirror. Is this 2-way? And I'm like, you have no real way to tell. They rolled a detection roll, they failed, and I'm like, you're not entirely sure. And at that point, they had Hammer with them, the steam jack inside, because the dwarf told the steam jack to just jump through the window, and they did that. So they asked, no, it wasn't him. Yeah, he was outside. He was too big to fit in there. But what they did do was the dwarf took out his axe and he hit the glass, and it wasn't a 2-way mirror. However, he noticed that it kind of, the stone behind the mirror kind of echoed, so they knew there was something hidden behind there. So they searched, they found the hidden door, they went to the basement, and in the basement they found a broom closet and an actual closet, a really big broom closet and an actual closet. They searched the areas and they found some what appeared to be cocaine, but apparently cocaine spliced with this really weird red substance, some red powder, red crystal-like things. And they're like, let's take a couple of these. Gumshoe took one, took a couple as well to take to the cops. And at the end of the stairs to that basement, they noticed that there were some mattresses, and they actually succeeded in their detection role. They noticed there was like a hole in the ceiling to where the mattress were, and then the dwarf was like, wait, but if this guy is a like a super villain, and he has like the button to send people down, like, ah ha ha, you have pissed me off for the last time, presses the button and people fall. Why would he have mattresses down here? And suddenly I saw his face. I literally saw when his face did the switch to turn on the ideas, like, wait, this is probably his escape route. And he tells me, I'm gonna take the mattresses and I'm gonna move them. And I really like the fact that he did that, and we'll get to that once we get to the end of the brothel thing. So they go to the second floor. In the second floor they see 12 rooms in total, and they're like, there's probably no prostitutes here because they were all downstairs. If not, they would have come out and attacked us. They see a big office in front of them. They break into the office. They start searching. They find a cabinet. It's closed, and the door says, you know what? He started rolling. And usually what me and that player do when we're game mastering, we do the whole falling forward thing. If you failed at something but you're supposed to do it, so the story progresses, you just fall forward. You know, you do it, but something bad happens. But here I couldn't do that because I had something prepared, and I was counting every single time he was failing the roll. So he failed a lot. The target number was 15, and usually he can get 15 easily, but he wasn't rolling anything over a 7 on 2d6, where 7 is the you know, usually is the medium. Usually that's what you're gonna get on 2d6, 7, but he wasn't rolling anything over 7. So he takes his axe, he opens the cabinet. What do we find inside? Ledgers, things incriminating, you know, Rugal Winchester, that he's been taking little girls in to be prostitutes, and like, oh, screw this guy. And they find a diary. And I'm like, okay, we're gonna check the diary soon. Anything else in the room? Yeah, I'm like, yeah, you find like a cord that leads to a trapdoor in the ceiling. I'm like, okay, we pull it, some stairs come down there, and there's a door up there. And they're like, well, okay, before we go up there, let's the dwarf tells me, let me check the diary quickly. That's the last page. What does it say? And it talks about Geese Amethyst, how he's the drug lord of the Four Horsemen, that he's been splicing the cocaine with something weird that is making people go enraged. So they recognize that that's probably why these prostitutes have been turning into cannibals recently. And how, you know, there's an antidote, but you have to take the antidote every single hour on the hour. If not, a couple of minutes later, you're gonna die. And even if you take the antidote a couple of minutes later, before you die, there's still irreparable damage done. So it's something that you have to take a lot of care into, but it's something that will leave the person open to whatever you want to do to them, basically. And that's what he's using to train the little girls to become prostitutes. And they're like, we need to stop this man now. And the diary also mentioned that all the girls he's training are in the second floor, and they're like, crap. They start opening the doors, and in every single door, and that's why I was counting all of his successes, and he failed more than 12 times. And there were 12 doors. For each door that he failed, they weren't gonna get in time to that door, and the girl inside the room was gonna die from overdosing on red dust. On this red dust. I think it's, they're calling it red dust, something like that. So they open all the doors. They even find a couple of underage kids together in a bed, dead. A boy dead. Most of them were little girls. They found one that was not over 10 years old. They are disgusted because, again, what I want to happen is I want the players to hate these guys as much as possible. And eventually I'm gonna do something that's gonna make them hate them even more. So I'm gonna be working towards that. So they're like, okay, this is not gonna take any prisoners. We're gonna kill this guy. Screw it. This is horrible. You know, a little kid's dead because of these drugs, and he was training them to be prostitutes. Let's go to the 3rd floor. They arrive to the 3rd floor, and the 3rd floor is as big as, you know, it's a really big room, as big as the rest of the other floors. So it's a really big room, nothing on it. And I tell them, when you first look down, you feel a little bit of vertigo suddenly, because the whole 2nd floor, the whole 3rd floor, the floor of the 3rd floor, redundancy, is a double-sided window. A double-sided mirror. Sorry, a double-sided mirror. So from the 2nd floor, when you look up to the ceiling, it's just a regular ceiling. But when you're on the 3rd floor, you can see to the floor of the 2nd floor. Redundancy. So I told him usually he uses this to look at people while they're doing their stuff on their rooms. And they're like, ew, okay. That's disturbing. Do we find anything else? They start searching around. At the end of the room, they find what appeared to be a closet. A small closet. It appeared to be recently opened. And it had like a slide to go down. And they're like, oh, man. And then Wintera's like, oh, the human, oh, I'm gonna jump in. I should jump in. Let's see where this leads. And the dwarf was like, yeah, maybe we should follow suit. Let's see where this goes to. And I tell them, well, roll an intelligence check. And when they rolled, before they saw the results, I told them, you feel this is a really bad idea. They laughed because they knew what was happening. Okay, well, let's go to the basement. They go down to the basement. And once they arrive at the basement, they see none other than Rugal Winchester on the floor with his legs broken. The dwarf had a hearty laugh at that. I was really happy that he did that. Because I was going to have, depending on what they did, it was what was going to happen. If they left the mattress, Rugal Winchester was going to be down there, hide, and he was going to unleash what I call a super gimp. It's a really big creature dressed in a gimp outfit. It's basically a troll in a gimp outfit. It's really big. But since they actually moved the mattresses, the guy's legs broke and he was bleeding from the legs, because, you know, broken legs do that. He fell over 40. It was an over 40-foot drop. An over 40-foot drop. So yeah, the guy was he was worse for the wear. So that was fun. They're like, oh, where's the antidote? And he takes out the antidote, a small vial, and he smashes it on the floor, and he starts mixing the antidote with all the dirt on the floor. It's like, oh, you're not gonna get anything. And they're like, oh, but oh yeah, the dwarf said, oh, okay, but poetic justice. Instead of just shooting you in the head, we're gonna take out that red dust and we're gonna make you snort it. And he's like, I'd rather die before taking that stuff. And they're gonna force him, and he had a cyanide pill on his tooth. He breaks it and dies a couple of seconds later. They're like, oh, asshole. They're like, well, we solved this problem. One of the 4 horsemen is dead. That's good. And they leave. The police a little bit in the day. They go and they start checking out the place. So at this point they're like, you know what? We haven't seen Adam Adamant in a while. Let's go pay him a visit. So they do that. They go pay Adam Adamant a visit. And where does this lead? It's because it was 2 days ago, and we played Rise of the Rune Lords last night, so I'm a little bit out of it. And Rise of the Rune Lords, so that last session was really fun. We fought the Skin Saw Man, and hectic fight. Anyways, getting back here, they go to Adam Adamant's house, and last session I explained that Adam Adamant had gone out fishing, but he actually answered the door this time. He was all burnt off from the sun. It was all sunburned. He invites them in. He says that, hey, we caught a lot of fish on our fishing trip. My brother is resting. Want to stay over to eat dinner? And they're like, yeah, sure. Adam and Senior is actually there with them, and you know they eat dinner. They eat a lot of stuff. He tells Adam and Senior actually tells him, I have a story for you today. And they're like, really? And he describes this really weird red flying reptile that could breathe fire and dipped itself flying into the water and went out with a big fish. And they realized, wait, this sounds a lot like those reports we got a couple of days ago. And like, what the hell's going on? Now, they pack everything up and they go back to their place. Adam had actually hugged and kissed the Sheik, Wintera's character, because Chi-Chi was also already trying to romance him, so he's reciprocating a little bit. They go back into town, and in town they decide to. Oh yeah, because they took the red stuff to their alchemist, and their alchemist said this is made from cocaine and Wendigo leaves. Now Wendigo leaves grow on the far west of the continent of Inmoren, and these things, when handled incorrectly, give people Wendigo psychosis and turn them into cannibals. When it's properly processed, it's really powerful stuff that will give you a huge trip. So they're like crap, and they have a lot of these things. So they decide, let's disguise, and that was the next day. Let's disguise up and let's start searching the place, see what the four horsemen are gonna do now. They discover that the Geese Amethyst actually skipped town. He actually skipped town, although there was a couple of confusions here with the name of Geese, and I remember why, because I have two different names. I have to change that. Geese. Yeah, Geese Amethyst. There we go. I already fixed it. So yeah, they're okay. So Geese left town. He's recuperating, but then the dwarf had the idea. Wait, if we can get more of that red dust, maybe we can broker a deal with him with our new disguises, and do an ambush. And I'm like, okay, that's a good idea. How are you gonna go about it? Well, we need to get more of the cocaine. And I told him, well, the police cleaned out the entire brothel, so there's nothing there in the brothel. And they're like, okay, so we need to steal from the police. How can we do this? And then Winter was like, maybe you could ask Gumshoe. Gumshoe's already helping us. Maybe he could help us more. So while the dwarf is outside looking for information, the human is waiting inside to wait for Gumshoe and see when he comes by. He comes by and tells her, I would never help the likes of you. I'm a cop. I don't help riffraff. I don't help people from the underworld. And as he's leaving, he says, you're just lucky that today everybody's leaving the precinct early and they're not leaving anybody to guard it. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, hint, hint. She actually took the hint and she's like, okay, that was mighty nice of him. Hey, he's helping without helping. The dwarf has something really funny happen to him. So he disguises himself as a different female dwarf, and he finds Turnpike, the elf, the Nis, goes up to him and he's like, well, does he recognize me? And I'm like, no, he doesn't. He says, oh, a dwarf in town. We barely get any dwarfs in town. Can I buy you some dwarven ale? I know where they sell dwarven ale. He's like, yeah, sure. And he buys her dwarven ale. He's a little bit weirded out. And then the Nis asks the dwarf, so if I wanted to get into the good graces of a Cockstooth clan dwarf, what could I give them? And then it suddenly, again, the idea bulb turned on Miss Nail's head, and she's like, oh wait, this guy has the hots for me. He didn't recognize me. He has the hots for me. Ew. And I reminded him, you fucked him once. And he's like, he says, oh, I have something to do. He goes back to the base and he asks the alchemist, do you have anything powerful to knock me out? And the alchemist says, well, I've been checking out this weird alcoholic beverage that you got me from that time you were at Beauty Vista, and it's basically very powerful vodka. And he just drinks it all, and I'm like, oh, really? And then I proceeded to describe an LSD trip for him, and much fun was had. because he discovered that the NIS it has the hots for him. He doesn't want to do anything with the NIS, and he had a lot of fever dreams, including one where he got married to the NIS, and the NIS was the captain of his clan now. And he barfed a lot after that. Yeah. He told me if the NIS tries to do any advances towards me, I'm gonna kill him. Oh, like, duly noted. I don't want that NPC to die. Not like that, at least. Because I don't know, you know, romance in the games. And the whole NIS thing is just funny. Because the game has a couple of, you know, really serious stuffs happening in them, but, you know, break the tension once in a while, have funny stuff happen as well. Now, afterwards, when they go to, you know, they recuperate. A couple of days later, because he took a couple of days to recuperate from, you know, the really bad trip he got from drinking the vodka, and then they I decided, let's go sneak into the day that Gamsho tells them, you know, that there was nobody at the precinct. They go to the precinct that night. They notice everything's open, so they guesstimated probably Gamsho left everything open. There were 4 sacks of cocaine, like 4 burlap sacks full of cocaine with small packets of cocaine. They take them back to their hideout, and they're like, okay, let's give these to Amethyst, and you know, we'll broker a deal, and we'll get into his good graces, and then kill him. And then actually tell him, something tells you should check the cocaine. Well, yeah, it's here. I'm like, yeah, but those are in burlap sacks. You haven't actually opened them. It's like, we didn't open them at the precinct, and I tell them, you never told me you checked them at the precinct. You just checked the ledger, saw there were 4 burlap sacks, and you reduced it to 1 burlap sack because you left 1. And they're like, crap. They open it up, and I'm like, well, it looks like white powder, no red stuff in it. And they're like, we asked the alchemist to check it. Alchemist checks it. A couple of minutes later, this is regular flour. It's just regular all-purpose white Pillsbury white flour. And they're like, crap. They're like, either somebody already moved in and stole it, or either we have them all, or the police have them all. And they go to Gamsho's place. They talk to Gamsho about what happened, and Gamsho tells them, well, I wasn't there. I was not there at the brothel when they packed up all the stuff. I was there when they put it in the evidence locker. So when they did the switch, they did the switch early. So I don't know who it was. I don't know how they did it either. Then the dwarf tells Gamsho, hey, you know, you've been working a lot. Try to take it easy, and like try to enjoy the small things. He says that, and then like when they're leaving, Gamsho asks, because the dwarf has a weird name, but at least the dwarf has a nickname, which is Nail. But the human has 2 names, and I can't for the life of me remember them. I know one of her identities is Miss Goodall, but that's not the way Gamsho addresses her. Gamsho actually addresses her by her real name. So he calls her. He says, "Can I talk to you for a minute alone?" He closes the door. He leaves the dwarf outside, and the dwarf is like, "Oh." So you can imagine what happened there. If you paid attention to the last session, you know what happened that day as well. So morning comes, dwarf gets up, he's sing his in the arcane order, and I tell him, well, you notice that Adam Adamant is there. And it's like, crap. Adam Adamant goes up to him and says, hey, have you seen Ellie? Ellie Goodall is the human's good guy persona. Have you seen Ellie? And he's like, oh yeah, she's just working with a lot of things. Come to my office so I can show you a couple of new knickknacks I have while we wait for Ellie. And it's like, oh, okay, awesome. Ellie wakes up. Gamsho's not in the bed. Not even in the bed. He didn't even like prepare her breakfast or anything. Just already working. She's like, whatever. That's how he is. She goes to the arcane order. All of her servants tell her, Adamant is here. Go freshen up and come down quickly. She's like, oh crap. She freshens up. Goes down, she's like, hey, how are you doing? And then Adam is like, hey, I want to invite you both to a lake. We're gonna go, me, my father, and my brother, we're gonna go to a lake, and we would like if you ladies would come with us. And they're like, hell yeah, we need to take a bit of steam off because things have been hectic. So they get everything ready. The dwarf tells her, hey, let's put our bikinis on under our clothing so we can take off and show off the girls once we're there. Ellie's like, oh, really? Okay, fine, let's do that. So they go to the lake where they fought Dark Lord Necronus. Actually, it's just some small ruins now. No big castle anymore. So they're there having fun and merriment. They have a long day there. They jump from the ruins into the water. Everybody's having a lot of fun. There's actually people in the lake. It's not just them. There's actually like the town's been bustling since those ruins surfaced, and people are going to that town to swim and stuff. Sorry. During the day, Adamant tells Ellie, "Hey, could I talk to you alone for a bit? Could we walk around the?" He tells her, "Cool. You want to walk around the nearby forest with me?" And she's like, "Okay, sure." And then they go walk in the forest. It's not a thick forest or anything. It's just a lot of trees. And the dwarf stays with the little kid, Adamant Jr. And they're splashing in the water and all that stuff. And then Adam, well, he's walking with Ellie. I tell her, you guys are talking about, mechanical stuff, arcane stuff. And at one moment, he just stops dead in his tracks. And he looks somber, and she's like, oh, crap, what happened? And you see that his hand is trembling. And she goes up to him, John, are you okay? And he looks at her and says, I am so sorry. And when I said that, the player playing the dwarf is like, oh, shit, you're fucked up. You're alone with him now. And I told him, well, he says he's sorry, and she's like, sorry, what happened? And he wraps you and he plants a kiss on you. And they're like, oh, he's not a mass murderer. He's just very shy. It's like, it's funny, because you lead players to believe that all the NPCs are out to get them, and when there's an NPC interested in them, they get freaked out. So they make out and they go back holding hands out of the woods, and they go back to Grandselm, and once in Grandselm, they're packing things up on their own carriage because they have their own carriage now. If you don't know how they acquired the carriage, you go look at the last session video. And then Adamant Senior takes Ellie to the side and says, can I talk to you for a minute? And she's like, oh, yeah. Says, I've noticed that my kid has been taking a liking to you lately. And she's like, oh boy, we're gonna have to talk. It's like, they have to talk. I like you. Please take care of my son. I hope you're not in this just for the money. I know that we're a very wealthy family, but just so you know, my son really cares about you. And she's like, oh yeah, I care about him too. Then they go back to town, and Ellie's player, she's conflicted because she's like, do I go with Gumshoe or do I go with Adam? I don't know who to pick. And then the dwarf is like, don't pick any. Be with both. Be with Adam for the title and be with Gumshoe for the fun. And Ellie's like, I can't do that. So that was a very, 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 very interesting piece of conversation those players had. Oh man. Then once they arrive to their Arcane Order, they see the leader of the Arcane Order was there waiting for them. And they're like, oh crap. How long has he been here? He arrived about an hour after you left. So he's been here the whole day waiting in your office. And they're like, oh crap. The guy's there, he's being extremely condescending, telling them, oh, you have fun, I see. You went to the lake or something? And granted, the dwarf saved them because he said, oh, we were just doing some follow-up research on a place we went to research before. And I'm like, sir, you have the gift of gab. I told him you don't even have to roll for that. That's a really good excuse. He chooses to believe you, so you don't have to roll anything. So that was really cool. He tells them, well, there are all these packs of information regarding a flying serpent, and I know a rival Arcane Order are already underway down south, so I want you to go find information before they do. And they're like, well, that thing is really down south. We don't have any way to bring down a flying beast, so it's gonna be a little bit difficult. And again, good on him to mention that, because if he hadn't mentioned that, the leader of their King Order would have told him, I'll have some boats ready with some harpoons for you. And they're like, okay, awesome. So next session they're gonna go fight the Draconic Lord. Now that because I told him the Dragon Lord Balak. But now that I think about it, I should name him something else. Like, because the point is, it's supposed to be really Saturday cartoon morning silly. So it's not gonna be Dragon Lord, Draconic Lord Balak. It's gonna be Draconic Lord Draconis. Because that sounds stupid. And that's the point. Eventually, all of this is gonna make sense. I am very, very excited with the couple of things I'm gonna do after they fight Dragon Lord Draconis. If you play Demon Souls, think about the Dragon Lord, the Dragon God fight, so you have an idea of what they're gonna do during that fight. But a lot more deadly. Not like that fight. That fight kind of sucked. So yeah, I have a player deadly scared of the Nis, because the Nis is after her romantically. He doesn't want anything to do with the Nis because it's an abomination for a dwarf and an elf to be together. He also sent the green metallic axe head he found in the first session. He finally got the money to send it to his brethren during this session, and during this session he actually got some response back. It's like, oh, you get a letter, and it has the emblem of the dwarven house you send it to. Steelforge clan or something like that is called. It's like, oh, awesome, I open it. Well, inside, there's nothing written. Only the ancient dwarven symbol of combat. So somebody's pissed off at you. And he's like, oh, blood feud. They probably think I stole this. Fuck. Crap. I'm in trouble. That's gonna be resolved in a couple more sessions. As a game master, I find out that one of the biggest problems I have is I don't know when too much is too much, because I have these ideas for plot threads I want to create, but I know I should wait a little bit longer to do them. Because, for example, I wanted to have the duel between the dwarf and Nail today, but I was like, no, like, let it build up a little bit, you know, let it build up, and sometimes I have a problem with that, with the build up. Sometimes I'm too focused on the payoff and not on the build up, and I have to remind myself I'm in my own mind, my players are not in my own mind, so the build up is already in my mind. So to me the payoff is gonna be awesome. But I need to build it up for the players as well. If not, it's not gonna make sense. Or maybe I can make it make sense, but it's not gonna be as cool. The players told me they had a lot of fun fighting the prostitutes. Then they had a blast when Rugal basically killed himself falling 40 feet and breaking his legs. Wintera's character, Wintera, Ellie's player, told me she had fun. She finds it interesting, the whole love triangle she's in right now. She has no idea who to pick, what to do. She tells me she's swaying more towards Gamsho, and she has no idea how to leave this guy, you know, drop him off easily. But something's coming soon, and that decision is gonna be very easy for her eventually, with something I have planned. Oh man, if I could play this game every single day, I would, because I'm very happy with what I'm doing with the game. Like this is probably gonna be one of my favorite games that I've ever run. This is probably gonna be my top 3 with the Dark Star Saga, which is a Dark Heresy game I ran once, and with my first Mirror game, which to this day I still say is my magnum opus. That game was amazing. 2 out of 3 players ended up crying. 1 was sobbing at the end of that game because of the things that happened. They really liked the NPCs, and I'm hoping that I'll get the same effect here. At least with my wife, she tends to be a bit of a crybaby, so I know she's probably gonna end up crying with the plot twist I have planned out. The other player, Paladin, I don't know, because he's a very headstrong man. But I know I'm gonna have some sort of reaction from him. It's gonna be interesting what all this leads up to. So they eliminated one of the 4 horsemen. They're gonna go after Geese Amethyst, the Drug Lord, soon. And next session they're gonna go after Draconic Lord Draconis. Because again, Draconis almost sounds like Necronus, and you know, keep a name theme there. And it's stupid and it's silly that they're named that, but that's the idea. And I have to remind myself that next session they have to face up cultists from the dragon as well, because why not? Maybe do something where they have to find a weapon to deal the killing blow on the dragon. Something like that. Again, because it has to be silly, something like you would find in a very stereotypical fantasy game. Because that's where these villains are leading towards, not the crime lord villains. These crime lord villains are the worst of the worst. So thanks for watching the video. Remember to share, like, and subscribe to ARMR Studios. Remember rule number 1, adventurers, it's all about having fun.